Good morning, everyone. I don't see myself. What's going on? Do you guys see me? I don't see myself, so no, I don't know what's going on with my camera. That's weird. Well, let's see. Let's try to do it this way. Here we go. All right, there I am. And there's my mic. Okay, a little off my game today because I was not here yesterday. Yesterday morning, I could not do the pre-market show, but we were busy after about 10 a.m. when I got available, doing some awesome trading. Man, I should be out more often, right? We did great yesterday. So we'll run through what we did yesterday, why it worked. First, let's just look at uh, news and indices and everything. So you can see Nasdaq's down slightly. I'm worried about this Micron report. Micron's down 4%. And if you go look at the details here, it's a pretty big miss in terms of guidance on the top line, somewhere buried in there. You can go read it. And, really, to me, does not bode well for Apple. It's all about lower demand for personal electronics, is what this is about, the memory chips for them. So you can see Apple's also down 0.34%, 0.36%, but to me, you got to take this seriously. I think this is an early sign of what we've been waiting for, which is ultimately Apple warning and missing and taking the Nasdaq down. So I'm going to reiterate my target for Apple, which is a 200-week moving average, 100 to about this congestion zone 112. You can see right there, a lot of support there. So between 100 and 112 is my target for Apple in a mild recession. And why is that? Look at this. This is the pre-COVID high, $80, right? This has no business being up at 130. Every other stock has lost all of its COVID gains except Apple and Microsoft because people are just simply in denial, right? And that holds up all the indices, which in turn can hold up other stocks. So everybody's in denial. They don't want to sell their baby. They're waiting to the last minute. They're waiting until the last warnings come out. I think to me, this is probably an underreaction by the Nasdaq, 0.4%. I don't know the exact path this is going to take, but this is the 200-week moving average. And look, I am hoping it holds. I am, because I want it to. Can something happen so that holds, right? Remember, the 200-week moving average, this technical line here is representative of fundamentals. This 200-week moving average only broke. I had multiple presentations on this 3 times since like the QQQ was created. 3 times. So dot-com bust, financial crisis bust, and COVID, right? So each of those things represented a fundamental issue with the economy. And if we break this 200-week moving average here, I think, again, it's going to be representative of a fundamental issue with the economy, which deep recession, stagflation, whatever you want to call it. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. How might that not happen? Oh, I don't know, like oil and commodities just crash right now, or the war ends somehow. Something like that happens. That's like your white knight, and you can maybe say, all right, it's just going to be a mild recession. Market's already forward looking 6 months, and we're not necessarily going to go forth and break this 200-week moving average, but that's what I'm hoping. But in reality, if I had to place odds on it, I think there's much greater than 50% chance that we're going to break this 200-week moving average, and we're going to be in for multiple quarters of a downtrend before we find the low. Now, that being said, you know me, I like picking stocks, and I always like to think that I can find the one stock that's going to outperform. That's gotten me into a little trouble this year. But listen, risk assets, DRIO, and other stocks seem to have bottomed. A lot of them do seem to have bottomed. Zoom seems to have bottomed. Maybe even GLBE seems to have bottomed. Global E, I think DRIO may have bottomed. You can see ARKK here valiantly holding that 35 low. I think maybe that's bottomed also. But if at some point you get a capitulation in Apple and it goes down to like 100 to 112, depending on the path that it gets there, right? If it's a very fast capitulation and there's liquidity issues, then everything is going to be hit. But in any case, look, I'm optimistic. I stay long the stocks I think are going to do good. The ones that are recession resistant, healthcare related, things like that. So diving into some of those specific stocks, you can see risk assets I'm monitoring here, Bitcoin as well. These are my 2 proxies for risk assets, ARKK and Bitcoin, BITO ETF. I'm monitoring USO and UNG. Man, I don't like seeing it up when the market's down. But UNG got killed the other day, so understandable that it's going to bounce back today. So I actually like UNG. Look at this; it's basically lost all of its war gains, which is great. But USO much stronger. Oil. Anyway, let's hope. Let's hope oil crashes and saves the day, so that we'll just get a mild recession instead of a stagflation. Now let's get into some specific things. Yesterday, while I was gone, man, we killed it. So many good trades. There's call outs. I hope you guys were able to take advantage of some of these call outs. I did. I nailed like 3 trades, almost the top and bottom of the day. Oh, AGRX under $1. Wow, that's what I was waiting for. I know some people who might be upset at that, but okay, I actually have to look into this. All right, because I may be interested under $1, but let's go to DRIO first. So much to talk about. All right, DRIO yesterday broke last week's high over 6 here, up to 625. It's July 1st, the end of the quarter, when the company has promised this national insurer rollout, which is monumental for the company if it does actually happen. So, but yesterday specifically, I think people are getting a little bit tired towards the end of the quarter. It wasn't coming. The stock started selling off, and then boom. Why did this happen? It happened because a credible poster on social media. His name is Healthcare Guru on StockTwits. This is someone who has been in the stock for a couple years like me. He speaks to management. He knows everything about the company. He tends to exaggerate. Okay, you can go look at his feed and things like that. He tends to only point out the positives and not the negatives, right? So, nothing's a perfect source. But he on StockTwits yesterday morning put out a tweet that says, "I found what I was looking for. Look out for big news in the next couple days," right? So to me, that could only mean one thing: if he's not bullshitting us, and that means that he may have found some indication of an imminent launch. Maybe there's some material out there, maybe a website, maybe a subdomain, something like that, regarding this national health insurer launch. He's been on top of this Aetna rumor from day one. He's a Cohen client, and Cohen's been the one speculating it's Aetna. So anyway, this is, I think, for sure related why the stock picked up yesterday. He has a lot of followers. I myself added some additional risk, some additional options actually on that tweet, and it immediately went up the rest of the day. I guess it was around here. Like, I picked it up around 550, 560, and boom, the rest of the day. So now it is July. The press release today because it's Friday before a long weekend, and even if they did, or even if they are launching today, or ready to launch it, or ready to announce it, it makes more sense to wait until Tuesday. So I think Tuesday at the earliest is when you'll see an announcement that this national insurer plan has launched, but it's possible it doesn't happen. All right, so be careful, watch your allocations, don't go crazy with the risk. It's possible it'll be delayed substantially, and as I've been saying to a lot of people, DRIO, they have a great track record following through on their promises, but sometimes it's delayed. So if it's delayed, it's delayed. And it could be a quarter or two, even if it's delayed, but it doesn't really change the story long term. So that's the story with DRIO. LNN, we nailed this yesterday with the awesome call out in the morning. You can see it was basically up all day. This has been on our watch list as a new FANG stock and agriculture pick. I don't remember who recommended it. It may have been Sanjay, it may have been Tony, but it's been on my watch list. They had a huge earnings beat yesterday, and the guidance was very, very bullish. So I got into this first thing in the morning, calling for 130s during the day. I also bought options right in the morning, and I made like almost 300% on some options that I bought. So that was incredible. I still hold the common shares. Who knows? I don't know. Is it going to pull back to 128, 129? If it does, it might be a buy. You can see resistance is at 135, which I hit, and then 140, 200 DMA, 141. So that's the story with LNN, right? That was pays to understand the fundamentals and the catalysts and the technicals. All of that went into play, actually, and the sentiment tailwinds of agriculture. All of that went into play. That story trading methodology with LNN. Yesterday, VTSI, I've been watching VTSI very closely on level 2, and I've been watching the trade action. And yesterday afternoon, I noticed a change in the behavior of the trading and the patterns and what was showing on level 2, and also the bids, the size of the bids. So earlier in the day, I called out. It must have been around 460, 470. I'm like, hey, I think the selling's done. There's been a big seller there for a long time.
I think is gone. At the end of the day, someone came in, huge volume. This is very unusual for VTSI. Took it up to close to $5. So we'll see if there's continuation. Today, there very well could be. You can see the 200 DMA here at 5502. If that breaks and holds above it, wow, it could be a nice move to 650. But we'd like to see news with that, right? This is setting it up. Maybe people are anticipating news. People are anticipating maybe the filing will finally be, the quarterly filings will finally be caught up. Maybe that is what people are anticipating, but a huge move to the upside available if they can close above this price. But again, I'd like to see a catalyst to see that huge move come to fruition. That's VTSI. Ribbit, we had a nice trade and call out yesterday. 50 to 55 cents is when I called it out. I got it in 55 cents. Russia's banning rice exports. I don't have this. I sold all my Ribbit after the LD Micro presentation because I did not see a direct correlation between rice prices or restricted rice supply because of the war and Ribbit's business. I didn't see the correlation myself. If it's there, it's not obvious. The company didn't express it clearly. So I think that's not really the story. But everyone on social media, and there's multiple large accounts on Twitter that have been pushing this for a couple months, and their whole thesis is rice prices. And that's all. They keep putting news stories out every time there's something about rice supply. They're like, ribbit. So I knew as soon as this thing came out from the Walter Bloomberg account that Russia is going to ban rice exports, that this thing's going to explode. So I jumped in as fast as I could, got in at 55 cents. I ended up selling at an average of 69 cents. And I don't know, I'm not so interested right now. This is maybe a technical support levels. We'll have to watch this to see if there's a reentry, but that was the trading that news catalyst there and understanding the sentiment worked out really well for that trade yesterday. AGRX, we had made some money to the upside a few days ago. I did completely exit at 172, and when we found out that there was an offering at 127, right? When I found that out, I completely got out, said, let me put my order at 127. It's a lot of moving parts here. There were warrants also. So it wasn't just 127, but they got 2-for-1 warrants for free. But 127 will be a psychological retail support level because retail will think, oh, I'm lucky. I get to pay what institutions pay, forgetting that, about the warrants. So I did put my order in at 127 for a trade, and that worked out really well. It immediately spiked to 150. I got out in the 140s. And now I've been holding. I did have another support level of 115 intraday that I was eyeing yesterday. It didn't hit it in regular market. I pulled it in after hours because of the close. It was not a very great close. I didn't think 115 would continue to hold in after hours. But then, and here we are under one because what you have is you have the institutions. We got to get rid of the 200 DMA in here. Institutions who are shorting the stock and along the warrants. It's a risk-free short for them because if it goes against them, they can just cover by exercising those warrants. And that's why you see, because they got 30 million warrants, they could short every single share they can borrow over here to the ground. So it's going down because of that. But I'm interested in monitoring this name because I think it does have a lot of potential upside if the right catalyst comes along. And the situation is such that I think that right catalyst may come. I don't want to say too much now because there's some VIP collaboration we're doing. This is the free YouTube that comes out at 4 p.m. But those of you part of the VIP community, we're going to be talking more about this soon. What sort of catalyst might cause AGRX to double or triple in the next few weeks or months, and how do you know if and when that catalyst is coming so you can get ahead of it? That's the research we're doing. But for now, the momentum's to the downside until that catalyst comes into view, and it hasn't really come into view yet. So I'm watching AGRX, and I'll probably be interested in picking some up at the right price. I don't know where the right price is right now. Technically, it's below all supports. It's a new all-time low probably here at 93 cents. So we'll have to watch that, probably based on price action, like a capitulation type of price action, high volume, like things like that. That's probably where I'd be interested in picking some up today on AGRX in preparation for that possible huge catalyst I'm talking about. All right, a couple other things I want to point out. Actually, we were monitoring XXII. I'm still in that. I think I picked it up around 2. CYRN, I'm still in that. I missed the sell. I didn't sell it. I guess I'm too greedy on this one. 240. I'm looking for 270, so I'm still holding that. SMR though, this is important because there's an S4 effectiveness statement. This is a DSPAC, and it's not on this newsfeed, but it's out there. I don't have experience trading DSPACs at all. Okay, not my thing. There are people who are experts in it. There are people that's all they do. They understand the share structure and the catalyst and the dynamics of DSPACs and the different filings that have to happen different times. And just peripherally looking at some of the comments I'm seeing on Twitter, it seems that today's effectiveness statements is one of those catalysts for a big downward move, at least temporarily. So I don't know for sure. I don't understand the mechanics behind it, but that may be something that impacts SMR. But truth be told, like I'm watching this from the periphery, not an expert, but I've seen those dates, these effectiveness statements cause wild volatility, not necessarily only to the downside, but to the upside. Who knows? I don't know which direction it's going to go. I have a long-term position in this, very small in my IRA because I love the technology. We went over this the other day, SMR, but I'm expecting a highly volatile day today. I also do have some SMR warrants in my trade account. So that's 5-year warrants. So we'll see what happens with that. But something to watch today. Don't really know what to expect besides volatility there. All right. So that's it. We're watching all these other stocks, as you can see. I don't have time to get into all of them, but if you've been part of the community and watching our videos every day and in the chats, that we've been doing well with REL and Celsius and CLFD and PLAB, LLKF, hoping for a big. This is my target's still up here at 80 cents or so. No, I'm missing the 200 DMA. I took it out. I think it was, it's somewhere around there. I think it was right in 80 cents, the 200 DMA. But, we'll have to wait for that. And then, all right, that's it. So let's take a look at the news in case we missed anything. Activation Blizzard, they're doing an acquisition. We see the Micron Technology. And, all right, so that's about it. Nothing new here. Oh, I know GM. Let's see how GM is reacting. They put it down a little bit, 2%. I don't know why they halted for this. It didn't seem like huge news, but I guess they have an inventory buildup because of supply chain issues. They couldn't get the right semiconductor chips to finish manufacturing the cars. So they have like a excess inventory of like 90,000 cars or something. They're waiting for the semiconductor chips to come in to finish producing them. So that's what's going on with GM over there. That's interesting. More signs of semiconductor shortage. But, for today, mostly I think I'm really interested in watching DRIO, VTSI, and SMR. SMR because of expected volatility, and then DRIO because of maybe news on Tuesday, VTSI because of how it closed yesterday. Oh, AGRX 71 cents. Now I may be interested. I gotta go. All right, guys. Take care, guys. Have a good day. We'll be talking. Oh, we have a week. All right. Stay tuned for details on that.